Hey, it's the Riot Podcast. 2 days in a row.
Woo! Well, I mean, you've done 3 days.
3 days in a row.
Just because I wasn't here on Monday does not mean it does not count.
It doesn't count, Nikki. If you're not here, is it really the Riot? No, it's just Obadiah and whoever's filling in.
You had Nick fill in with you on Monday.
So here's the stuff you can expect to hear in the podcast today. We talk about James Gunn and the Suicide Squad. Facebook security measures, and I don't mean digital ones. I'm talking about things that I had to do because of a Facebook market sale. Dyson's new something. Christmas tree chips, Nikki's dog, Stardew Valley, emotional support squirrels.
It's chock full of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff here.
You can choose what type of stuff it is, but it is still stuff.
It's stuff.
It is.
So it's all in the blender. You guys enjoy the podcast.
Don't forget, more things are available at RadioU Riot on Facebook and also our YouTube channel. Or if you just want to literally find everything, go to riot.radiou.com and everything's posted there in case you want to find us somewhere.
I'm so sleepy. Oh, that's also in the podcast.
We covered that, I think, with some gusto.
Oh, yeah, we really get into it. Enjoy the podcast. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Friends by Friends Coke Freestyle Machines. We're all friends, right? It's the Riot on Radio U.
You may not know this, but a lot of Facebook accounts are being cloned. They're taking your picture and creating a new account. So if you get a friend request from me, do not accept it.
That's been all the unfortunate spamming rage throughout, even over the weekend.
Oh, my gosh. To quote somebody else I saw yesterday, Facebook's turning into the community center. I don't even know what that means, but I was like, yeah, you're right.
It does. It feels like that, doesn't it?
You're right.
No, I just feel it's so many things from other people who don't just verify something. So I got a lot of notifications from, say, the older members of my family to let me know about the cloning thing. And I just wanted to tell them, it felt like, what's that website you always try to send someone to?
Snopes?
Yeah, it felt like that, where you just wanted to send them the link going, I'm not even going to take the time to tell you about this because
just read this.
It just seems exhausting, but it's not real.
Here's what I think is funny, though, is that when you tell somebody reads something that's not real, you know it's not real, but they don't. You show them the thing where it's like, look, do you see this? This says that this is not real. And they're like, oh, you can't trust the internet. I'm like, okay, now wait a minute.
Wait.
You just, with zero looking into it, believed the first thing that I sent you. Now I'm sending you something that tells you you're wrong. Now your innate confirmation bias is going to say, no, I was right the first time. But if one step back, and neither one of these is reliable, like the second thing that you think is unreliable is theoretically just as unreliable as the first thing. And therefore, we can't believe anyone or anything.
And we can't log into anything anymore without having all these notifications from things being sent to you that you don't want them to be sent to you.
I had some kind of update on my Mac last night. I came in this morning. They're like, do you want to set up two-step verification? It's like, no. Now I have to have an Apple Watch and an iPhone every time I want to turn my Mac on so it can send me 2 notifications to 2 places. And then I have to do a math problem.
Just to make sure it's you.
Just so I can log in.
Hey, all right. Let's not be, it's...
honest? Stop being honest about it?
No, it's not grumpy. It's just, what's another word? What's less than grumpy but not happy?
Discontent?
Discontent? That still seems like a bit harsh of a word. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, these are the thoughts as I'm turning everything on this morning and getting ready to start the day. It's just like, you know what? Here we go again. One more ride on the merry-go-round.
And that is the realist side of you that we appreciate because we all feel that way.
Oh, my gosh. What are the Kardashians doing? Let's find out.
You just hop online. You're just going to find a lot of good stuff today.
I want to know what Meghan Markle wore yesterday. That's what I want to know about.
And that's why you need to just get booted up as quick as possible.
Yeah, that's why I need 3-step verification for my Mac so no one can see that I'm looking into what the royals are doing.
Dear Radio U, when I was a kid, my parents sent our dog to live on a farm in the country where he could run and play all day. I could ask them for the address if you need somewhere to send the Riot. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
So a running joke, if you ever buy anything from Apple, is that when you buy something from Apple, you don't upgrade it and you don't fix it. You just throw it away and you buy a new one.
That's just how it is.
That's how Apple works. And this is crazy, but the National, they did a little investigative reporting, and here's what they found. Did you see this story yesterday?
I did not.
Okay. So, first off, just to be abundantly clear, so we don't, full disclosure, this happened in Canada. So, things in Canada could be really different than things in the United States, right?
It's not here.
Yeah. So, what ended up happening is, and dude ran, it was one of those, little undercover investigations where there's the camera in my pocket is rolling. So, they take their Mac in to get it fixed. It's a Canadian Mac. And they go to the Genius Bar. They bring it up. The Genius Bar guy's like, I'll be back. I got to take it in the back and run a diagnostic, a.k.a. sip my Dr. Pepper. And so then comes back out and is like, oh, yeah,
it's too far gone.
It's so far gone. It's going to be about $1,000 U.S., $1,200 Canadian.
Come on, if you're going to do this right.
You're right. It's going to be a boot 1,200 maple syrup. and a six-pack of Timmy Hose.
That is what it is.
To fix this thing. And that's the price of a new laptop. So you may just want to buy a new laptop. Amazing. So then, this is great. Then they took it to a third-party repair shop.
Yeah.
And the guy, it took him about 2 minutes. And he was like, here, it's fixed.
Fixed it?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what was going on there.
What do you think it was?
I don't know. I mean, what was the one time we were at the mall and we saw some guy carrying the old... What was that?
Okay, he was carrying not the original Mac, but 2 Macs after the original Mac.
It's this giant monitor. And
it wasn't a Mac, it was an Apple.
It was really, really old, and he was an older gentleman, and he was carrying it through the mall because we could tell, you're going to the Apple store to get it repaired. And I don't know if people have those in an ironic way and a classic keep of it.
I got it right here. He had an Apple iMac G3.
It's I'm surprised that thing still works. So I actually thought that when he went through it. I wondered, how much is it to get that repaired, and are you better just to get a new one?
See?
But if someone's not ready for change...
That computer that he had, that was a 1998 iMac. And Nikki's just over here throw it away and get a new one.
Every time.
I love the idea of somebody that's no, I'm just checking the email.
I'm just fixing it.
I don't need your fancy new whatever to check the email. Yeah. Well, we did see that guy in the mall. But if you ever feel like the people that are, it's like going to a mechanic. They're like, you're going to need a new Johnson rod for this to fix the undercoating because it's broken.
Well, just anywhere you go when you want to get something fixed, if you feel better to get a second opinion, could have been maybe Apple was just trying to motivate him into just upgrading into something new.
What are you saying? Like
a parent just
Apple
gently.
Knew he just needed a gentle push.
Yeah, something like that.
Push.
And that's why they were in the back. They were all getting together on the story to make sure that they could just lie to him on it's an okay lie. It's an okay one. Now, Apple has said in response to the investigation that their customers are always best served by certified experts using genuine parts, and they denied the overestimating customer repair costs.
So Apple basically came out and said, look, if the guy said it was $1,200, it was $1,200.
And he's right, because you got to get a new one.
Who cares that this other guy down the street fixed it for $5? It's probably going to burn his house down.
That was a fluke, and then they can't stand behind that repair.
Well,
which I would think at that old of a machine, it'd be a hazard as well.
I'll tell you right now, if you're telling me that I can fix it for $5 or fix it for $1,200, I'm gonna roll that dice.
It's not fixing it for $1,200. You just need. That was just their lie again. You just need to go get a new thing.
These aren't the brakes on my car, that are going to save my life. I'm running the risk of my lives and others and taking that risk into my... No.
But what if your computer won't stop?
I can't get it. It won't stop.
When life is this good, you don't need a vacation. So get back to work. It's The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki, did you hear the big news yesterday?
About?
The big news.
About what?
About James Gunn.
James Gunn. Oh, he might be doing Suicide Squad 2?
So, Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn, he has been, removed from Guardians of the Galaxy 3 due to, you know what?
That one's a tough one.
If I even tell you what it is, if I don't say it correctly, I'm going to make a lot of people angry. So here's what I'm going to do. You Google it, and you find out why he's not going to be a part of Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
And then you just join us back with this again.
Yeah, so we'll be here when you get done. But he has apparently officially signed on to help write Suicide Squad 2.
So you would not be directing it, just assisting in the writing, or?
The rumor is that he probably will end up directing it.
But no one's saying anything quite yet.
That's just
well, with him, it's been most well known that the cast and the support that he's received from the Guardians of the Galaxy cast, has been a bit different than other people who have found themselves
in this particular circumstance.
Yes. So there's been talks about, would he actually be able to do that, and what would happen?
So now, man, this really feels like, scorned kind of thing, where it's like, that's fine. You're going to dump me. I'm going to date your best friend.
I'm going over there.
Who you're rivals with, and you both were best friends, but then you aren't friends anymore, and you're each running your dad's company, and it's your brother, and it's Adidas versus Puma. That's what it is. They're brothers, and brother one dumped me, so I'm going to date brother two.
Yeah.
I
kind of deep down thought maybe Disney would go back on it. They were just giving it time, but at that point, then closer to the end, they're like, no, we really won't.
Well, see, that's the problem with, corporations, et cetera, et cetera. Let's say that James Gunn deserved a second chance. Not that I have an opinion on the matter.
No one has that.
Why would I have an opinion? But they give him a second chance, then they have to give everybody else that. And they don't want to put themselves in a position where they have to do that.
Sure.
This is why... I don't say
there's no opinion.
There's nothing.
There's no opinion on any of that.
So, but this is a case where, DC can hire him. And, yes, it's true. Another man's trash is another man's treasure. So
you're calling Suicide Squad trash. So was Guardians the treasure?
Yeah.
Again, no one has an opinion on anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, maybe that'll bring up that franchise a little bit more.
Oh, here's what I think. All of a sudden, the Suicide Squad finds themselves in space. And all of a sudden, they find themselves facing off against a group of pirates.
He has a style of writing about him, and it's fine.
I would love it so much if that's what it is.
Yes, it's a great idea.
Oh, that's interesting. A group of misfits traveling through space together. Each of them kind of bad, but really good.
But it's not Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not that at all.
That's a great idea.
I'm not so much mad about what they say. I'm mad that they think any of us want to hear it. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question, and I don't want you to just blow it off.
Mm-hmm.
I am alive, right?
You are.
Okay.
Were you worried about something?
Well, yesterday...
Is this a death dream? No.
It's real.
Is this real or not?
Yesterday, I did something that I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever done. I've done a Craigslist meetup before, but I don't think I've ever done a Facebook Marketplace meetup.
Sure.
Where I was the buyer.
You bought something?
I bought something on Facebook Marketplace. And darn you, Facebook, it serviced me an ad of the product on Facebook Marketplace. And it was, when I saw it, I was like, wait, is that real? Whoa. So I reached out to the person, offered them less than they were selling it for, because that's what you have to do.
Well, that's a part of the deal, the wheel and deal.
So I saved myself some money.
And they expected it anyways.
Yeah, so, and then it was time for the meetup, and I was just like, man, I'm very uncomfortable right now. This guy wanted me to come to his apartment, and I'm like, yeah,
oh,
no.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He's like, well, just stop by my place and get it. And it's
no,
like,
thanks.
No, not doing that. Not doing that. And he's like, oh, that's okay. We can meet at blank, blank, and blank. Because he's like, I don't have a car, so I just want to walk. Now, he's a student, so, and he lives in downtown.
I guess you can believe the story then.
Him not having a car does make sense. But it was just like, now we're going to a meet that's at a predetermined location. I'm like, I'll tell you what, I'll get in the area and I'll set the meet. I'll tell you where to meet me. And I will text you 5 minutes beforehand. That way, you know, when he is moving his snipers and his hit team.
No, then isn't it sad? It's like you're fine. And most of the time, 99.9%, you're fine.
You know what?
But we're just worried.
I met this guy at a Shell gas station. I handed him the money, and I was like, feel free to count it. He handed me the item. He was like, yeah, just go ahead and open and look at it. And we're both looking at each other like, Are you?
But really, you both were just fine.
It was fine.
But it's
he
better
got
to
his
be
money.
safe than
I got
sorry.
the thing. We walked away. You know, there was nobody on the rooftops trying to get me. There was not a white unmarked van that was parked nearby to grab the money and run. It was fine.
Okay. Well, you made it.
I know. But I'll have to tell you, I had all these tactical thoughts. Probably too many video games, really, where it's just like, all right, I'm going to park here, but I got to be able to pull out fast.
That might be that, or perhaps some, emotional movies.
Yeah.
Some of that same storyline.
I'm going to put my money in my pocket, and I'm not going to get it out until I have that item in hand. Oh, but he doesn't want to hand it over unless he sees the money first. Like, okay,
just fine.
I'm going to put the money on the ground, and we're both going to kick it over to each other at the same time.
No.
3, 2, wait. Are you going to go on one, or is it going to be one and then go?
I think it's always weirder because it looks like you're doing a drug deal. I always think people are just driving by going, oh, what are they doing?
Oh.
But really, it's just like, oh, it's just Facebook, guys. It's just a marketplace.
The drugs are in the box then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I made it. I'm fine. I got it home. It works fine. Everything's
Great,
fine.
good job.
Everybody's fine.
That's good. It seems like you had a really good day yesterday then.
Of course, I had to drive around for a while to make sure no one was following me.
Of course. Well, that's just smart. Better safe than sorry.
I drove out to the airport and ran it through an x-ray machine to see if there were any tracking devices on it. But
and
after
no one
that,
followed you home. You're good.
So far, so good. But they could just be waiting a while to get me to be lulled into a false sense of security.
Or you just had a perfectly fine transaction deal.
So I parked in a different parking spot today, and I'm going to take a different route home. Just
in case. And we won't go to the door if anybody rings the bell.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for a peaceful start to your morning, you should look somewhere else. It's The Riot on RadioU.
I got to ask you guys a serious question. How much do you care about your hair? Really? Are you investing in it? Because if you're not investing in your hair, then why do you expect it to pay dividends in your social life? So, I mean, there you are with a curling iron. Don't you understand that too much heat actually damages your hair's ability to hold the curl?
That is true. You got to be careful.
You have to find the right balance. But do you have that kind of technical know-how and skill when you're half awake with a toothbrush hanging out of your mouth? You don't know what you're doing? I mean, you might as well just stick your hair in the oven. Just hope for the best, right?
Never heard of that approach.
Well, you know what, Nikki? It's time for you to spend some money.
Cash on something that'll be better for you?
Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with a man by the name of Sir James Dyson?
Yes.
I believe your house is full of his products.
Yes, it is. I've always liked Dyson products.
You're a real sucker for expensive.
I am. Apple and Dyson. It's two things.
Apple and Dyson, Nikki.
That's it. I don't have anything else. Just those items from those two companies.
I don't have anything else. I don't even have a bed.
No, I mean, like, that's the two companies apparently I have a fondness for.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Well, they did the hairdryer. Are they doing something else?
The Air Wrap hair tongs.
What are those?
Well, I'm going to have you look at them.
Dyson tongs. I know. I just want to Google that.
The Air Wrap hair tongs.
Okay.
The Dyson Air Wrap hair tongs, they're out today.
Is it for curling your hair then?
Yeah. I think that it's basically a curling iron that uses air.
Yeah, basically so.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to curl your hair with warm air alone, then yeah, that's something that they're doing.
So basically, instead of your curling iron now,
which I never use,
it's heated metal. And so the idea here is that you would still wrap your hair around this like you would a curling iron.
But then hot air goes through.
But it's circulating hot air instead of,
I'd hate to know how much this thing is.
You sure you don't want to know?
Well, no, go ahead and tell me.
Okay, it's $600.
$600 for that? For a curling iron? But it's your hair.
Okay.
You got to invest in your hair.
For a good curling iron, what are you paying for that?
I was thinking more like $50 or $60.
Yeah, I was thinking somewhere between 50 and 100. 100 if you're getting the really high.
Good stuff?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how many of those do you go through in a year? 10, 15?
No, I think people keep them for years and years and years.
10, 15 a year? Something like that?
No, like you keep it probably for like 10 years.
So you're saying you need only about 11 a year, like one a month?
No, like
is what you're saying.
Probably we should get more often, but we don't.
So at buying one a month at $100 each, because you only buy the best, it's $1,200 a year.
No, I think it's more like you just stole your mom's when you moved out and you never got a new one.
It's $600 one time. It really only takes
investment.
It really only takes 6 months to start saving money.
It's a lot.
I mean, it's a big upfront cost, but just think of the savings and think of the dividends it's going to pay in your social life. It's going to save your
hair. It's going to save your hair. So Dyson, it's the if you're interested. For $600, then you've got the Air Wrap, which is out today.
All that money you're spending on high-end conditioners and hot oil treatments, not anymore, right? Because those are trying to put moisture back in. You're going to stop taking the moisture out.
Dude, that's a lot.
Nothing is more powerful for your hair than your body's own natural moisture.
Okay.
I'm already selling it.
You are.
I mean, just sign me up now.
If you had what's the affiliate programs where if you just used Obi's link.
Do you guys want to come to my Dyson hair party? We're going to be having it later. Now, it's a lot of fun.
Wow.
I'm going to be doing your hair. And then some of those products, yes, some of them will be on display, but it's really about having fun, and it'll be just like a total makeover when you leave.
So have exciting. A great time. Slumber party.
All right. And here's a card with my affiliate number, so if you buy anything.
Do you have a coupon code?
Yeah, I do. If you put in Obadiah, you get 10% off.
Let's see what happens when you order that.
The Riot was this close from becoming the absolute worst morning show in radio. Yep. They can't even win at losing. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
Now, Nikki, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the calendar these days, but
it's literally at the door. I mean, we do have Halloween to go through, and then there's still Thanksgiving.
It's practically Christmas.
It is practically Christmas.
I mean, we're practically there right now. It's totally fine. So I want to say hi to Ryan. I don't know if you saw what Ryan sent us yesterday, but these are only in the UK right now, which means we would have to import them. But Ryan sent us these Christmas tree flavored.
Oh, the potato chips.
Salted potato chips.
That is a weird flavor.
Christmas tree flavored. What do you think that tastes like?
Kind of like, I've never had a real tree, so I'm just envisioning what this spray can we once had that had the tree smell to it. Kind of like give you that taste.
I was going to say, I feel like these are potato chips that they've sprayed with Glade.
Pretty much.
It's like, oh yeah, just spray this evergreen Glade.
I wouldn't even know,
you just spray it on there.
The flavor to go into the lab and try to make it taste like.
See, I think, or the other option is maybe some Pine Sol. You just dip the chips in Pine Sol, and I think you're probably good.
It's not dipping; it's just spraying.
Yeah, it's a light coating. It's nothing too serious.
So the Iceland Luxury Christmas Tree flavored salted hand-cooked crisps are available in the UK.
About $1
I really wish
a bag.
we could try them.
I know, I totally would.
Are they on Amazon or anywhere you could still send them in?
Let's see, Amazon. Waiting.
The savory
Christmas
snack is made from oil
chips.
taken from real pine needles.
Sure it is.
So that's it's a pine salt flavor.
I got to tell you, when you put Christmas trees
and
in Christmas tree chips into, it's...
Well, I think if you put the...
now, I could get you a Christmas tree chip and dip set for entertaining.
But you can't find the chips.
Yeah, would you be interested in that?
No, but anybody in the UK wants to send them to us.
And I feel like, I don't think you could do a big run of them, but I feel like you could sell these chips in America.
Well, it'd be fun.
I feel like you could. I mean, there's going to be people that are going to say bad things about your product.
Okay, but we're not one of them because what's located to the right of you, that's no different.
Hey, what, are you talking about my trail mix?
No, in the box.
All
Keep
right.
going over there. Keep going over there.
The tissues?
Nope, the other box.
Here we have them.
We
mac
have
and cheese candy canes.
mac and cheese candy canes and rotisserie chicken candy canes.
Candy canes.
We're trying those a little bit closer to whenever we're ready.
So we're not sure yet when we're ready.
Well, I was thinking maybe next week. Like, I don't feel like we're ready yet. It's not this week.
It's not time.
But maybe next week we can do it.
All right. We'll delay. Don't call today.
I kind of want to also just put it off because what if we can get a hold of the Christmas tree flavored potato chips?
Come on.
I mean, that could be a massively amazing food fight.
I feel like it's one of those things where I love the tree, I smell the tree, I hug the tree. Now it's time to taste the tree.
You can do that with pine needle oil on your favorite potato chips.
I just can't imagine a world where that's not disgusting, but I still need to eat it.
You still need to try it.
Having a bad day? Blame the riot. Everyone else does. And in fairness, it's probably their fault. RadioU.
Oh, Nikki, you know what we need to do this weekend?
What do we need to do?
We need to go to a spooky haunted house / forest / abandoned mine
Or corn maze.
corn maze. Oh, did you have to say corn maze? I went to a corn maze last weekend.
I think it's fine, but, at nighttime they make them spooky corn mazes.
They didn't have the spooky option.
Oh, they didn't?
They had 2 levels, though. They had, the easy
A 2-story?
one and the hard one. It took me 30 minutes with a map to go through the long corn maze.
Really?
Yeah, it was big.
Guess part of me thinks, well, you got 2 sides. You think, I'm going to get lost forever and die in the corn maze. And the other side, you think, it must be the easiest thing in the world.
Well, you know what's funny is the people I was with, they took it a lot more seriously than I did. They were like, all right, everybody got water, everybody got this. And
Snacks. Well, at 30 minutes, that is longer than I thought.
It was a long time. But again, here's what I realized is I was reading the map, and this made me feel, I don't know, I'm not going to say proud, and I'm also not going to say embarrassed, but somewhere in between proud and embarrassed is that we're with this group, and so I was kind of leading us through the corn maze using the map. And about halfway through, somebody was like, man, you're really good at reading that map. And then I realized, you know why I'm really good at reading this map?
Because you play games and read books with maps.
Yep, that's exactly right. Because
Thank you, Zelda.
I spend so much time playing games where I just tap the button to bring up the map to check my location and then tell myself how to get around in that 3D virtual space.
I think that's amazing.
When it came time for me to do that in real life, it was like, yeah, it's easy. Just give me the map.
All right, well, in case anybody ever criticizes you for too much gameplay, be like, listen, it saved your life in the corn maze. You could have died in there.
When I realized why I was good at reading the map, I was just like, you know what, guys?
That's too bad.
Here, someone else take the map. Let's get lost.
I don't know what I'm doing because I don't play games a lot.
I don't spend a lot of my free time playing games. It's fine. It's not real. Forget about it. No. Yeah. So I totally corn maze. And then when I got out of the corn maze, I had an apple cider slushie and a hot pretzel.
Oh, you had a long time. You did. That was a really big workout.
And then I also saw pig races.
Did you? Where'd you go?
They had pig races. That was a weird one to me. Because, whose idea was that? That's bored people, where they're like, you know what we're going to do?
No, that's people who already had the pigs who just didn't know what to do with them.
Because they're
how do we make this a tax write-off?
In between making people disappear, they're like, what do we do with the pigs? And so they're
getting them ready for the Christmas dinner. Getting them worked up.
You want to get as much muscle in there as you can.
Yeah, so that's the running time. Don't ask what the turkey races are.
Oh, man.
Recycling paper is like planting a tree. Recycling the riot is like burning down the rainforest.
We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
So the weekend hits and you're like, hey guys, let's pay $20 to walk through the forest that we never walked through.
But it's a haunted forest.
Look, we've all done it, right? Okay, not all of us. Some of you are better, but I've gone to some, all right? Let's talk about the Nashville Nightmare. Is that a nickname for someone you know? No, it's not. It's actually a haunted house. Yeah. So what was it, over the weekend? They had a group that's in line to go through the Nashville Nightmare. And while they're there, someone approaches them that they thought was working at the place. and they start talking and stuff. And one of them, the person that, like, you got a group of 4 friends, and the person that they think works there comes up and at one point is like, hands them a knife and is like, go ahead, see? Anybody care to take a guess why this is news and what happened next?
I bet you he didn't really work there.
That's
Did
true.
anybody get stabbed?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they accidentally stabbed him?
They handed this person that they don't know who it is, handed these friends a real knife, and they thought it was all part of the joke.
Yeah.
So they took the knife and stabbed their friend with it, and there was that awkward moment of like,
it's real. It's totally real.
wait, are you bleeding?
Wait,
what?
It's like you just want everybody, like, I know you're in the haunted house, but you just want to, like, turn the lights on and, like, let's figure this
everybody.
out. Let's get in here now because we got a problem.
So, yeah, they thought that it was just some character, but it was just some guy
who had a knife who handed it off.
Uh-huh.
Just can't be safe anywhere, can you?
Man. Okay, there are so many things with this story that are wrong. First off, I'm sure you're paying way too much money to go into that haunted house. That's its own discussion.
And you thought it'd be fun because you want to go with your friends and you want to have a good time. We understand that.
But then you're telling me that there are people dressed in costume at these Halloween places that don't work there. That right there. Okay, this is just how dumb and naive I am. That never even occurred to me.
Well, what if it's just someone who was there in line also? And they just had a knife on them.
And then gave that knife to someone and was like, stab them with it.
Is this a knife or like a pocket knife?
Don't know the answer to that either.
Okay.
Don't know what actual kind of knife it was, but
like a dagger.
We're all supposed to be like having the good times, and now someone's stabbed.
Aw. Well, they're okay?
Yeah. I guess this is one of those things that, like, if we were on a gun range, it would be like, that's why you never point a gun at anyone, no matter whether you think it's unloaded or not.
Now we know you never accept a knife from anybody.
Okay. Thank you, Nikki.
You're
1,
welcome.
Don't take a knife from a stranger. 2, don't take the knife from the stranger and stab a friend with it. 3, never pretend to stab a friend.
And I know you think you shouldn't
4,
have to
never actually stab a friend.
I think you think you never have to tell somebody that, but now that we've all gotten on the same page, you understand we're not supposed to do anything with the knives.
Seems to me that this is a discussion that has to be had.
Especially at the start of the haunted house.
If these people had this discussion before going, we wouldn't be talking about a stab victim.
You start goofing off, and next thing you know...
I just want you to know, Nikki, if you ever stab me, and like even if it's just for fun, I'm never letting it go.
Well, I know you actually have my permission. You can bring that up all the time.
One of those things where it's like, that's okay, Nikki. We'll go where you want. I wouldn't want you to stab me.
Every time it rains out, you're like, oh, the part where I got stabbed so hurts me.
Sorry, I always get
rain's coming.
I got a little a barometer in here, a little weather station.
Oh, yeah, you have my permission if I ever do stab you.
Thanks. Well, Nikki, what about all the hurtful words you've said? Did those count?
Whatever.
Mornings are for coffee and contemplation.
Chief, she's...
Coffee and contemplation.
And the riot. Obviously. Radio U.
Nikki, I know that you've put a lot of thought into your own Halloween costume this year, but
I still need to think one up.
Have you thought about what your dog's going to be wearing?
No, I had a Mastiff, and I always wanted to make him into like a lion, but it would never, like, we couldn't figure out the main part around it to get it to stay. But I could get something for Rolo or Snickers, my other dogs.
I feel like Rolo could be a good...
He'd be cute.
He would probably be seriously game for it. In fact, he's probably wondering why you haven't taken him shopping yet.
Why have I neglected him in his doggy costumes?
He seems like he's probably talking to everybody about what he wants to be. Yeah. He's just like, I hope she notices me this year.
I know. You know, I have doggy sweaters for him, so it's not like I don't dress up my dog, but just not all the time. It's mostly just if he is cold.
Okay. So how do you know when he's cold?
Well, I keep him shaved. So in the wintertime, I just assume he must be cold. So I just put one on him.
So just in case?
Just in case, yeah. In case his skin feels cold.
You could eliminate all of that by just not shaving him.
No, his hair gets really tangly. He doesn't like getting his hair brushed. So either brush your hair or he gets short. Yeah, he gets shorter hair.
I guess you laid down the law.
I did.
Well, I'm looking at some dog costumes here. Here's one where you could dress him up and he'd be like a Tyrannosaurus.
That'd be cute.
Okay. Here's one where you're a UPS delivery man. So it has, you have to look at the photo, but
I kind of
it's
want
like,
to see that one.
it has fake arms for the dog and it's holding a package.
That's cute.
So I think my favorite one on this whole thing, like here's one where you're a shark, one where it makes it look like.
The delivery one is cute.
Looks like you're a horse, or the dog's a horse. It's like a little cowboy on their back riding them around. But my favorite is easily this Ghostbusters costume.
Did you scroll down in the comment section, though? Someone made a Star Trek Enterprise.
It's pretty good.
With, like, beer cans and a cardboard.
It's good, but I'm telling you, the Ghostbusters one, and they've got the, what do you call it, on their back, the proton pack on their back. It's pretty great.
I've seen the ones where you can make them also look like a teddy bear. So basically, they look like they're just walking around.
A walking teddy bear?
Yeah, I could go for that.
I don't think you'd be able to stand that.
This seems expensive, though, and that's an awful lot just for it'll be a good Instagram picture, I'll tell you that. It would be one.
Are you kidding me?
That'd be amazing.
You could win at Instagram with that if you'd be willing to do it.
If Rolo was like calm enough, I would take him trick-or-treating, or at least have him out while people trick-or-treat. But I think he'd get too excited. He wouldn't want to keep it on.
I love the idea that it's just like, no.
Nah, he's not into that. He's over that.
He can't handle it, guys.
No, he can't. And I'm okay. I understand that. We've already come to an understanding.
Yeah, that's cool. So, Rolo, just letting you know, Mommy's not bringing anything fun home for you.
I'm not spending money. I don't usually get a costume for myself, so I'm not getting one for him. When I was at the beach the other day. Did you take Rolo? No, when I was on vacation.
Oh, I see. So now that's just another way that you're.
There was this guy and girl. They're probably like, I don't know, 25, 26, maybe around that. And they were pushing this really nice stroller. And I was like, wow, this is quite a setup. What baby is that? And so I went to go walk around. I was like, wow, that's really something. And then I look in, it was a dog. It was quite the doggy stroller setup.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, like, there's a lot of things I can take. And as someone who's not a pet owner, I understand that as pet lovers, you engage in activity that to me, I'm like, and that's fine. But like, I seriously, hard line.
I know.
I draw a hard line at the stroller.
And for me, like as a dog owner, I can understand for certain breeds of dogs, like if they're smaller, you got to carry them kind of around anyways. Like the stroller can make sense sometimes. This was not a dog stroller. This was a baby stroller. And this dog was perfectly capable of being fine with walking. So it was definitely something. So maybe they would be the type of doggy parents who would put on one of these costumes.
I'll just tell you right now, if you're pushing your dog in a stroller, I'm judging you. I am. Like, I try not to judge people, but I don't even judge myself for judging you in that matter.
It's like, okay to do.
Man, stop it.
Ever wonder what Nikki is doing when she isn't rioting? Find her Twitter feed at riot.radiou.com. Obadiah's is there too, but who cares what he's doing?
Come on, Nikki.
Come on, we can do
Come
it.
on.
Let's go. Come on.
Woo!
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody stand up with us.
I'm cheering for Nikki right now. Do you know why?
We can do this.
Because there's a desperate air of tired in the studio this morning. And you know what Nikki and I are doing right now?
Open a window and let it out.
Come on. Let's do this. Come on. You ready? Yeah.
Yay.
Come on. Woo!
We're not tired.
Yeah. Come on. I'm dancing.
Tired.
I'm dancing.
Tired.
Jumping up and down. Jumping up and down.
Come on. I could fall over.
Come on, Nikki. Come on. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Now I'm even more tired. That was exhausting.
No, you're getting pumped.
No, I think I'm on the other side of it. I'm pooped. I'm not pumped. Oh, what is that?
I'm trying to get you angry. Did that work? Are you mad?
No,
I
just
think that was from
offended.
all the jumping up and down. Now my tummy hurts.
Oh, see, it wasn't good for us to do.
Oh,
we're a little tired, just a
can you
little
hand me
tired
the
today.
trash can?
Do you need me to pat your back?
You just rub my back a little bit.
So there is something a little bit more soothing music-wise you could find us for this morning.
You want something a little more relaxed? Is that better?
That is nice.
It's not bad, right? Oh, here's what you need right here. Just...
Oh, boy. That's a tough one to stay awake through. Is anybody... I mean, you don't even have to text us, but I just
They're too tired to text.
You could just say, yes, Nikki, I too am also tired. It's fine. It's fine. Normally, I don't want to bring you guys into our problems.
You know what? It could be the changing of the seasons.
No, it's everything.
We're
not sleeping.
It could be the air. You're getting too much air.
I'm slightly jet lagged. There's allergies out now.
Okay, I think the allergies thing is real because
it always is.
I've been coughing a lot this morning, and I've been doing a lot of blowing of the nose, and I probably.
It makes you tired. That's real too.
The other thing I want to say, and I felt validated, really validated on Monday when Nick came out of the newsroom and came and did the riot with me. And when we were done, he was like, man, I am tired. Like, I forgot about how much work this is. And I was like, yes, yes.
It is work to sit in here.
Thank you.
It is
Someone
work.
is willing to say that Nikki and I are working.
Thank you for saying that.
I feel like people are always like, you guys have the easiest jobs. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Well, for everybody else that's feeling it, it's only Wednesday.
And I don't want to be that guy, but you had Monday off. Right?
I know, that's why it's hard. Monday was a traveling day for me.
That's
I was
true.
in a plane in the airport all day.
And you had to fly the whole time.
I did. And
my arms are really tired.
It's harder than you think it is. It's very tiring on your body.
I actually think it is. Every time that I fly back from almost anywhere, I end up having to take a sick day because I catch some disease in the plane and come back, and I'm like, I'm fine. And 2 days later, I'm dying.
Not fine. I can't.
I can't even. It's impossible to can right now.
So, all right. Well, we got it out of our system.
Totally
We're going to have a
shaking it
fantastic day, energized, refreshed,
I feel so
motivated.
good right now. I feel so good right now.
Oh, yes.
The Riot's motto, Carpe Cupcake. Those are words to live by. RadioU.
Finally, something is happening that I feel like is a long time coming. Except it's not coming to Android yet, which really bums me out. In fact, they don't even say yet. They just say, not now.
It's harder. If you have an Android phone, there's so many variations of your phone. It's usually going to go to, iOS first because, they just can't get the product to work with everybody's Android phone.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's a mess.
There's 1 billion Android phones and 3 iPhones. So you can see where it's easier. But Stardew Valley is
really?
coming to iOS.
Hey.
I'm telling you right now.
I wish I would like that game more.
See, I think if
On
you
my
put
phone,
it on
I
your
will.
phone, you absolutely would.
I played it one weekend on my Switch, and it's a great game, but I don't think I set up everything, and I didn't learn. Like, I should have gone.
You never learn, Nikki.
I know. I should have
never learn.
I just needed to know more, because then I just gave up after a while when I didn't know all the tricks to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it could be a good phone game.
It's great. You know what? I ended up not playing it because I was having trouble. I had this controller problem. I had to have it was this whole big thing, and it ended up kind of derailing my Stardew Valley play.
Thing.
It's great.
It is a good game.
It's so chill, and you can just kind of sit back and play it. And there have been so many times that I've thought, man, if I could put this game on my phone, I would play it frequently. Maybe not all the time, but even last night, I was sitting there watching TV. One of my friends was using the Switch, and I was like, you know what? If I could get my phone out right now and we could have whatever the heck it is on the TV and I could be sitting here playing Stardew Valley, I would totally do that.
So I can't remember. Is that a Nintendo game or is it just on the Switch and others?
It's not. It is a Chucklefish is the name of the company that made it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It was practically made by one guy. In fact, it might be just one guy that made it. And so that originally came out maybe on the PC and the Xbox, and I'm pretty sure it's on PS4 now. And I know it's on the Switch because I have it on the Switch. And then it is now being ported to iOS.
And when does that happen?
It's going to happen on October 24th for $8.
All right. Set a reminder. Good price, by the way.
Yeah. Well,
it's not bad. It could be worse.
You think about it. It's $8 and that's everything. There's no microtransactions. There's no, for $3 more, you can get 5 stars that you can use to speed up your crop harvesting. It's none of that kind of stuff. It is straight up, you pay $8.
You got the game.
The funny thing about it is this is a game that kind of plays with a lot of the same ideas that mobile does. Like, hey, your crops are growing, come back later, et cetera, et cetera. But No microtransactions. You just buy it.
To me, that was the hard part of it being a console game because I didn't have my Switch with me all the time.
Right.
And I'm not going to carry it with me all the time, but I do have my phone.
I'll tell you right now, if I could get Stardew Valley on my phone, I'd pay $8 for it.
Well,
I'm not telling you what to do, Nikki.
It's like I can't. You want my old iPhone? Like, what can we do to help you out? What can we get you in?
You do you.
I'm telling
try
you,
it,
and you can play it one morning.
They port this out to the old Android.
And you'll be happy.
And I will snag this for sure.
So October 24th. October 24th, Stardew Valley.
For iOS. So that would be, your phone or your tablet. Fine, whatever.
You're listening to the worst of the riot.
Today sucks.
Radio U.
You guys know where we are on Emotional Support Squirrel, right?
That's an older thing. You might have to catch people up.
Well, that was the band that Nikki and I had started, and we were supposed to do this whole fall tour thing with Emotional Support Peacock.
Especially in Maine.
Yeah, and it didn't work out.
No, we read an article a couple of years ago about an emotional support squirrel, and then we were talking about it. I don't know why, but it was like, hey, that'd be an amazing name for some emo throwback sort of band. And then at that same time there was a story of an emotional support peacock who wasn't allowed on a plane, and we're like, oh my gosh, that could be the tour support. Those are two great band names.
As a complete side note, if you follow me on Twitter, you already know this. Another great band name that I heard yesterday, Unironic Garfield Collection.
That's also something that could be impressive.
That would be a fantastic.
It's a lot, and I don't know merch-wise, but, could work.
Unironic Garfield Collection. That's a band if I've ever heard one right there. So, Nikki, there was another anti-emotional support squirrel incident over the weekend.
Which airline?
It was Frontier Airlines.
Yeah, we've been on that.
And I'll tell you right now, if they think that they're going to be able to maintain things like this and still be an airline,
Isn't Frontier the one, too, where I think I liked flying them because they had animals on the tails of the plane. Do you remember that when we took it?
I do remember that I remember that there's an airline that does that, but I don't remember if it's Frontier. I think that was them. So, I don't know, when did this happen? Was it over the weekend? All I know is this. We've got a lady here that she came on the plane and they were like, yes, you're able to bring your emotional support animal into the plane. It's fine. But they have an anti-rodent policy.
So you're emotional support animal was a squirrel.
It was a squirrel. And it's not that they have an anti-rodent. They have an anti-exotics policy that you can't bring them on board. And so the squirrel was considered an exotic. And as a result, she was asked to leave. The entire incident basically took 2 hours. They ended up having to bring in the Orlando Police Department.
By that point, the plane is long gone.
No, she's on the plane. So the plane is not taking off.
Don't mess up with people. Everybody has to wait while you sort that out.
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
So
why'd they let her on the plane then?
Get a load of this. She refused to get off the plane.
Mm-hmm.
They deboarded the entire plane.
Oh, there's some angry people.
Only woman
left on the plane. Is there video?
I've got a photo of her being taken out.
Aww.
Basically being forced out.
You got to be grown up about it. If they ask you to get off the plane, you got to figure it out off the plane.
You know what? I am a believer in kind of keeping my mouth shut. As much as you would think that's not true. When it comes to being in public, I don't want to really call somebody out in an angry way.
Yeah, I don't want to confront someone and then have it even escalated more than that.
But I think as I'm walking past this woman getting off the plane,
you'd be trying to take the poor squirrel. It's not doing anything.
I think I'm saying something, Nikki.
Yeah, I know. I would be right there with you.
I think I'm going to...
Way to go!
I think an offhand comment.
Just something.
I could use a little emotional support right now.
As I leave the plane because we can't take off.
I'll tell you who's a little squirrely.
Yeah. People, it's a stressful time to get on a plane, and that apparently was too much for her.
Mm-hmm. So she needed, a couple of hundred people to feel emotionally...
just as vulnerable as her.
Everybody now knows how she feels, I guess.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
You know, and I feel like maybe I'm a poorly prepared burger from Carl's Jr.